Overnight, groups of people clashed again with Portland police outside of the East Precinct for night 70 of the protests. Melody Gonzalez joins us live to explain what developed overnight. Melody?
Yeah, good morning, Ken. So several events took place in Portland last night. Two separate groups gathered in the downtown area, blocking traffic. Most of those gatherings were peaceful, though. It wasn't until around 8 p.m. last night that a third group on Twitter called for, quote, round two of a march at Floyd Light Park, not far from the East Precinct. Portland police took the unusual step of preemptively condemning the march. And according to our reporters on the ground, just before 10 p.m., police warned the crowd, and within minutes, a fire was started in a trash can near the door. Police report that members of the group had also at one point dismantled surveillance cameras. A woman claiming to live in the neighborhood stepped in and tried to reason with the crowd to stop vandalizing. Some of the group threw paint on her and began to yell in her face. Another elderly woman with a walker tried to use a fire extinguisher on a fire in a trash can. She was blocked as someone from the group tried to prevent her from putting out the fire. And just before 10:30, Portland police began to push back the crowd to Southeast Stark and 113th. One person was arrested during the push, and police did use smoke canisters, but not tear gas. Portland police say some protesters made spikes out of rebar that were left in the road meant to puncture police tires. Officers report a police van did have its tires popped by those rebars. Now, over the next few hours, officers would make some arrests and try to disperse the group. Some fireworks were shot around this time. By 12:30 this morning, Portland police closed part of 106th Avenue and ordered the crowd to leave. Now, we do know that several arrests were made. We are working to bring you the exact number. For now, reporting live, Melody Gonzalez, KOIN 6 News.
Thank you, Melody. And we need to point out that earlier in the evening yesterday, most of the protests across Portland were peaceful. There was the Marching for Healthcare Equity event that was put on by the Black Youth Movement. Protesters marched down East Burnside with dozens of people in cars and trucks. They call for equality in healthcare. They marched from Frazier Park and then went to Laurelhurst Park. Portland's mayor and police chief are calling for people to not get involved when there is violence at protests. Officials report almost every night that multiple people are arrested at the protests. They say that people try to shatter doors, set fires, and rip boards off walls. Yesterday, Police Chief Chuck Lavelle stressed that what's taking place is not advancing us forward.
This is not about a movement. It's not about Black lives. It's not about racial justice. It's not about police reform. It's planned, coordinated attacks on police officers, and I feel that lives hang in the balance.
Mayor Ted Wheeler says they do anticipate attacks on occupied public buildings over the next few days.